Excellent. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the August Ag Behavioral Health Working Group meeting. We're going to have a smaller group today, it looks like, so we'll have some good conversations. I know there's a couple people that reached out. For those of you who are joining us from the community, we will have translation services. So I'm going to turn it over to Consuelo to introduce herself and how to access the Spanish services through this meeting.
Hola, bienvenidos a todos a nuestro grupo de trabajo de Behavioral Health Working. Y vamos a tener un grupo más pequeño el día de hoy, por lo tanto vamos a tener unas buenas conversaciones. Para aquellos que se están uniendo de la comunidad, tenemos servicios de traducción. Yo soy Consuelo, soy la intérprete de español para esta reunión. Si está en una computadora, haga clic por favor en el icono del mundo que dice interpretación en la parte inferior derecha de su ventana de Zoom. Elija del menú y dele clic a Spanish. Si usted prefiere escuchar solo español, nada más dele clic otra vez a Mute Original Audio. Si está en una tableta o en un smartphone, toque en la pantalla para que aparezcan las opciones. Hay 3 puntitos. Píquenle allí, pónganle más y lo mismo, seleccionen su idioma, presionen a donde dice Done, listo y listo. Si no los ven, presionen en el Zoom a donde dice más y va a aparecer esto y seleccionen el canal para que puedan ustedes escuchar la traducción al español. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Consuelo. All right, and Megan and JC, welcome. Good to see you both. And for those of you in the community that are joining as well, just want to explain the Q&A function at the bottom of the webinar. Please feel free to use that if you have questions that you want to ask to anybody on the working group. Also, realize that those questions can come in and we might not get to it till later, but we do have somebody that's monitoring that and those questions will be asked. But if you have questions for someone, we also have a website that has a place where you can ask comments or ask questions and offer comments. Anything else there, Rosie or Robert, that we need to let people who are watching from the general public know?
No, and then we'll accept written comments whenever. So if they have written comments, they can send them to our email. I'll put my email in the chat, and then also on our webpage, there's links to all of us.
Perfect. Thank you. And then, like I said, we have a little bit of a smaller group today, but thought we could do our normal introduction so anybody that's watching can know who we are on the working group. We have Meghan Shelton joining us today from the Behavioral Health Administration. Glad you're here, Meghan. I'll let you introduce yourself when we go around. And if when you're introducing yourself, Robert threw a great question in about if you've learned anything recently about somebody else in this working group that you wanted to share, of course, with permission, like acceptable stuff. But also if you've met anybody this summer in any conferences or meetings that are doing this type of work here in Colorado or beyond that you wanted to share with us about, feel free to do that as well. So if you learned something about somebody in the working group, share that. If you learned something about somebody else that's doing work, feel free to share that. And I will start us off. My name is Clinton Wilson. I work at Colorado State University with the Agribility Project, and on this working group, I also represent Rocky Mountain Farmers Union and the AgWell program, which I was part of for about 2.5 years. And I live in Fort Collins and work out of Fort Collins. As far as anything that I have learned, this question was new to me this morning. So I didn't have a lot of pre-time like you guys, but you know, the one thing I'll share is I've known Monica McConkey for a while. She's actually working out of Minnesota, but she reached out and she wanted to offer some trainings here in Colorado in collaboration with somebody else there in Minnesota. So they're coming to CSU the middle of September to offer a QPR training and a Safe Talk training. And so really happy to get to have those interstate collaborations with other folks that are doing this in other states, and excited to be able to partner with them. So if you don't know Monica, look her up. She's really fantastic. She does on-farm behavioral health support for farmers and ranchers in Minnesota. And with that, I will pass it to my right to Rosie.
Hi everyone, I'm Rosie. I'm going to put in the chat a link to our website, which has links to register for both of those trainings that Clinton just mentioned. I am part of our CDA team that helps organize this group. I am our Drought and Climate Resilience Office Program Assistant, and I offer administrative support for this group. And something that I learned this summer about someone in this group who's not here today, but I learned that Chad, while working with, I think kids, he was working with like juveniles, he taught them how to make cigar box guitars and like taught them how to play. And he has a very cool one hanging in the background of his Zoom screen. So if you ever are on a call with him, you should look out for that. I think the one hanging on his wall, his mom actually made, because she helped him make them. So he had enough for all the kids. So cool.
That's fun.
And I will pass it to Katherine.
Hi everyone, Katherine Harvey, she, her pronouns. I'm the Rural Strategies Specialist for the Office of Suicide Prevention. Nice to see everyone's faces. The thing that I would share is some people that I met virtually very recently. I have been working on doing some interviews to get more qualitative data about ag producers. And so Robert was able to connect me with a cool, with a couple of very cool people who are ranchers or farmers. And so I was able to interview them both this past week. And they were just like so cool and badass. I don't know if I can say that in an official state meeting, but I just did. And it was like the sort of people where you're just like chatting with them and you're like, I have my list of interview questions, but we keep getting off topic because we just have like random things in common. And I'd be like, oh, my mom's a quilter too. What sort of stuff do you quilt? Wait, I'm supposed to ask you about your mental health. So that was really fun, and it just made me really excited about this project and that we're doing cool stuff as a work group and like accomplishing things with very cool people. And I will pass it to Julie.
Hi, thank you. My name is Julie Elliott. I'm the behavioral health specialist with the Agribility program at Colorado State University Extension. I'm actually located in Grand Junction, so I cover the western slope. The cool thing that I learned is through this group, I have actually met Richard Harland, and I am excited to talk more with him and about connecting in the southwest part of the state, since that's part of the area I cover. And I will pass it to Meghan.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Meghan Shelton. I go by she, her. I am with the Behavioral Health Administration, BHA, and I am the Inclusion Practice and Accessibility Advisor for BHA. I will just say in general, I have been having the opportunity to meet lots of folks doing amazing work in rural communities, specifically to agricultural and farming communities, as I've been supporting this role while BHA has had a vacancy in it. And so it's pretty incredible to be able to learn about all of the things that you all and so many others in the state are doing. And I will pass it to Michael.
Hi, everyone. Sorry I'm late. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, glad you were
Okay.
able to join, Michael.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had some horse stuff. So yeah, I'm the co-founder of Warhorse Ranch, and we do equine therapy for veterans, first responders, and anyone with mental illnesses. So we have a good staff, and we've been collaborating a lot with the people preventing suicide. We have our core group, but yesterday I had the opportunity to meet with they're going to try to start a veterans court up here, and I had brought in the ag part of it, and there are a lot of There are a lot of old time ranchers that are veterans, but also there are a few veterans around here with that served in my era. So we're collaborating with them, and I've got a list of people that we are interviewing, just basic questions on how the mental health, how they view the mental health, but also I'm asking the older generation, what have they seen as a trend for mental health. So I'm looking forward to interviewing a lot more. And then I've been working with our group on that. So that pretty much just started. So there's a lot of work to do, but there's a lot of collaborative effort. We actually had an autism group come out, and a couple of them, their parents are ranchers, and one of them I know, and we got them out beekeeping, and it was pretty cool. But we are right now in Routt County, we're up to 8 suicides. Last year was 19. So we are really reaching out and collaborating with the other organizations to bring people in. And what a lot of people see is ag is a huge part of where we're at in Northwest Colorado, even though Steamboat Springs is, the main town, but it was created by ranching. So we're getting everybody involved as much as we can. We're getting the word out there, not just our organization, but everybody else. So we're really trying to make a difference here. So thanks.
Hey, Michael, before we move on, since you weren't able to be at the last in-person, I was curious if you guys have had any in-person retreats this summer at Warhorse and how those have gone. You mentioned them in the spring, and so when you and Valerie were both on.
Yes, we have one coming up in September. We had to cancel our retreat in August due to financials, but we were able to create a training which we bring our mental health providers and bring them up to speed on how the horses interact with the humans. My wife is the director of the mental health part. Yeah, we're looking forward. It's going to be 6 people in the retreat, and it's a 5-day intensive. And also we have every month a foundry coming out. So people with addiction, they're going through this program, and it's real impactful. So they're coming out regularly. And that's one of our programs that we see a lot of. And there are ranchers in that. There's about 20 people that come out a month. So
awesome. And last question, I was recently talking to somebody about Warhorse, and they asked about financial support. You just talked about the last one getting canceled because of financial stuff. Do you still have, or do you have any scholarship type funds for somebody that wants to come through the program?
Yes, we do. And that's for the September retreat. So if you know anybody interested, just go on our website and register.
Okay.
Awesome. It's up and running, so we're good to go.
I'll pass that on. All right. Thanks, Michael.
Thank you.
And yeah, I'll let you pass it on to somebody.
Who hasn't got? Richard?
Yep.
So yeah, can you hear me?
We got you.
Okay, cool. I can't hear me. Yeah, I'm Richard Harland, and I'm a counselor for the Ute Mountain Reservation down and as Southwest Colorado as you can get, I like to say, as we go to the Four Corners Monument. And I believe that Megan, did I just meet you last week? Did you come out to visit the reservation with the BHA group?
In June. I was out there in June. Yes.
Oh, okay. A couple people came last week, and
it may have
your
been
doppelganger came.
You probably met Shauna Maher.
Yeah,
she's our tribal affairs specialist.
Yes, she definitely came. I've worked with her for a little bit, and she brought 2 other nice people to look around the tribe as well. And it was a little hard to tell from this little box on my screen if that was you, but
no worries. We try to all look alike.
And
wear the same earrings.
Well, in a fuzzy little box with your hair put back. But I sort of, you have met Chad. I won't say his last name correctly.
Resnicek.
Thank you. And this week, time's running together a little bit. If it was this week or last week, but I got to take the land logic training that they offer, and I really enjoyed that. I took a lot from that, and especially just realizing the people's tie to their land, and how almost the land is part of the family. And I really appreciate that, how I can bring that knowledge, into Montezuma County, and how also, we have a huge farm and ranch project on the reservation, and they have big ties to the land in slightly different ways, though. It's very spiritual. So I look forward to learning more as well. I'm not sure if there's somebody else. Joseph, have you gone?
JC's still there.
Hi, Joseph.
I'm still ready to be picked up on waivers. Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Good afternoon, everybody. JC Karika. Recently took a position with Axis Health Systems that serves Western and Southwestern Colorado. Logistically, I'm in Rocky Ford on the Southeast Plains half the time, and in Durango, Montrose, Gunnison the other half. So happy to be working on different sides of the state as well. Something that's changed, or a couple things I've uncovered in the last few weeks on the Western Slope. There is actually a Narcan dispensaries in Ridgeway, Colorado, I believe, that's part of a effort to reduce opioid overdoses. It's really pretty cool. They also have some ag work, mental health work happening over there that Axis is involved in. I can't speak intelligently enough about it right now. It's just kind of found my radar, but there are some really good initiatives happening in that community and in that county. So hopefully next month I'll have a little bit of update there. The other thing I found really interesting is when I relocated to the Western Slope, I asked Bruce Fickenshire with CSU Extension to link me up with somebody on that side in the extension world, beyond the ones I already know. And he linked me up with Gus Westerman via email. And Gus says, JC, great to meet you. Happy to work with you on whatever ag initiatives we may have over there. And I'm on your board of directors. So it was basically a kind way of saying, yes, we love to have it, and I'm your boss. So it was a cute invite, typical newbie mistake on my part, but we have a strong advocate with Gus over there already. So that's one of my updates.
That's awesome. And you're going to have to get the IT team to come in and move your camera, JC. I don't know what to do with you so up close and personal in this meeting.
So this will not last. My board is being put up here in the next 2 weeks, and you'll get the far view once again.
Yes. Excellent. Okay. Well, thanks everybody. Before we move on, since we do have a smaller crew, I did just want to check in. Michael gave us a quick update. Did anybody else have a program or any updates? Katherine, anything you want to say about your big presentation that you did before this and what it was?
Oh God, that made me panic. I was like, what did I do? Yes, I just did a webinar that was nationwide to like 500 people about rural suicide prevention, and it went pretty well. And I'm trying to think, I don't really have any other interesting updates right now, but that happened like an hour ago.
So great. Excellent. All right, anyone else? And Megan, you're up next, so I think that you do have an update, and I'll just let you go on and say that and other things about the BHA. Take it away.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Sure.
So a couple of things I wanted to share with you all. First, BHA has an open position for agricultural program administrator. I think that's what they're calling it. So those of you that knew Calandra Lindstadt, who was the regional engagement specialist that also oversaw the agricultural engagement and program administration through Senate Bill 55. She vacated her position in early July. So we've now posted that position. So that position will work very closely with the Department of Agriculture. We'll focus on rural agricultural and farming communities and continue the work that Dr. Lindstadt had started, which was pretty incredible. She accomplished a lot in a very little amount of time. And so pretty excited to see that move forward. And give me one moment and I will put the link to that position in the chat. And I'm asking that you all can share this with your networks, get the word out there. Okay, there you go. And then also wanted to share some updates. On July 9th, Colorado Behavioral Health Administration, BHA, celebrated the launch of Colorado LIFTS. LIFTS stands for Linking Individuals and Families to Services. So as many of you know, we have BHASOs now. There are 4 BHASOs. They're regional throughout the state. And Colorado LIFTS is the network of providers that feeds into the BHASOs. So it's a streamlined network of safety net behavioral health services, including crisis, substance use, and mental health support, so that anyone in Colorado, no matter their insurance status or where they live in the state, can connect directly with with care navigation support to help them begin or continue their journey to whole person health.
And Megan, can you remind us the BHASO, what it stands for? I know I've been told many times, but what does the BHASO stand for?
Yes, so the BHASO stands for Behavioral Health Administrative Service Organizations.
Perfect,
So it
thanks.
consolidates crisis services, ASOs, and MSOs, so all in one place for each region throughout the state. And then for Colorado LIFTS, so that is how you get connected to the BHASO within your region. So there's 3 ways that uninsured or underinsured people in Colorado will be able to connect to low or no cost care in the Colorado LIFTS network. So they can call the Colorado LIFTS care navigation line in their region, conducting their own search using the OwnPath care directory or receiving a screening from a Colorado LIFTS provider. So anyone seeking support with care navigation, including those with private insurance or Medicaid, can find their Colorado LIFTS care navigation phone number by entering their zip code at OwnPath. And I will put that link in for you also. So Colorado LIFTS, just for some clarification, is the new face of OwnPath. So those of you that are familiar with OwnPath, we've just done some updates to it, and that's the network that feeds into the providers. So I put that link in there as well. And then if you would like more information on the launch of the BHASOs and Colorado LIFTS network, there's a helpful link that has additional information on our website. So I just added that in there for you as well. Is there any questions about that? I know it can be a little bit confusing. I've had some questions recently around the rebranding of the BHASOs and actually asking, are the BHASOs now being called Colorado LIFTS? And so the answer to that is no, the BHASOs are separate, but Colorado LIFTS is the network that feeds into the BHASO. So it's the network of safety net providers.
Awesome. Any other updates from the BHA that you would want to share with us before we move on?
Actually, one more update. We just posted late in the day yesterday, the deputy commissioner of administration. So that position just got posted. And I will put a link to that too, in case any of you or anyone within your networks are interested in that position as well.
Excellent. And on the rural position, if somebody has specific questions, Megan, is there a HR link on that website or on that job post, or can we direct them to you?
There's an HR email with questions. Also, totally welcome to direct them to me, and I can get them directed. If I don't know the answer, I can find the person that does know the answer for you all.
I'm only
And
asking because
really-
I met with somebody this morning and was asking me if there was anybody at the BHA that they could ask some questions, and I said I'd get back to them.
Okay. Yeah, I'm happy. You're welcome to send them my way. I'm happy to answer whatever I can, or connect them to who can.
Excellent. Cool. Well, thanks. Anybody have questions for Megan about the Colorado Lifts or the BHASO's programs or BHA in general? All right. And nothing from the Q&A and the public side? Rosie or Robert? Nope. Okay. Then thanks, Megan. Appreciate you going over that and your support while you guys are in search of somebody to replace Calandra.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, moving on to committee updates. Chad is in Texas, and he is leading the best practice subcommittee and is still in process working with, I think was PJ on that, or that's not right. There was one, MJ. MJ was on there with him.
I think
And so Chad,
Lisa, not MJ. I don't know if
Oh.
Lisa ever met with him or not.
Okay, so they will try and give us an update next month, but Chad is in Texas and not able to join today, but he'll have an update. And so I will jump over to Katherine. You got an update from data and outcomes. Thank you.
Yeah, whatever it's called. I don't know.
Whatever,
It's called
I can't read. That's right.
Data group. Yeah, we are just plugging away on collecting and compiling a bunch of different data sources. I am currently working on drafting an actual report of all of the data outcomes that we currently know when it comes to ag folks in Colorado. So the plan is that I will be able to submit that to you guys by the next work group meeting so that the entire work group can kind of review that, make any comments that they want to. So that's currently in process. And then, as Mike and I alluded to, we're also simultaneously working on a project of interviewing a bunch of ag folks about their access to behavioral health care, barriers that would stop them from utilizing it, all of that kind of stuff. So we have identified a whole list of people to do interviews. We've split up the list between everyone who is in our subgroup to reach out to those people and talk to them. So we're planning on having interviews wrapped up by like mid-November, and then we'll be able to synthesize our findings from all of those interviews and then have that done around December-ish. So that's kind of our loose timelines. I think from the general work group, we don't really need anything right now. It's more of just, we will be sending out to folks before the next meeting that draft of the data outcomes report so that people can take a look at it before the meeting and start making comments on it. And I think that was it. Anyone else from my subcommittee? Have I missed anything that we have been doing? Cool, that is it.
Awesome. That sounds like great outreach and cool opportunities to get feedback from farmers and ranchers. And are you guys gathering folks from all over the state? Like, do you have different access points?
Yeah, we have a bunch of people from a bunch of different geographic areas that we've sort of identified for interviews. And then we've also tried to be really thoughtful about some of our specific subpopulations. Like Mike is reaching out to a lot of vets who are involved in ag. Richard's reaching out to some of our tribal folks who are involved with ag. And then I know that MJ is working to do some like migrant farm workers who speak Spanish specifically. So we're doing the best we can to try to both identify geographic diversity and then also those particular subpopulations.
Awesome. And do you guys need any help from anybody else, other folks on the working group, as far as helping with interviews, or do you guys have it covered within your subcommittee?
Yeah, we have it covered right now. I think if anybody else is listening to this and you're like, wow, this sounds really interesting and fun and I want to do it too, that's great. We could always add more interviews. The list of folks that we have right now, we already have divided out amongst ourselves. But if anybody has an idea of, hey, I think so-and-so would be a great person to interview as well, and they'd like to volunteer to interview that person, they can just connect with me and I can walk you through the little questionnaire list we have in our process for it.
Great. Thanks.
I think it might be, I mean, if we could send it out to everybody on this, and then just if they talk to somebody, hey, by the way, here's a survey we're doing. If you want to add that.
Yeah, we could totally do that.
around.
I can send our document with our questions to Rosie to send it after the meeting.
Cool. Thanks. All right. And as far as outreach and communication, we did meet last week. This is a subcommittee that Calandra had started before she left, and we spent a little bit of time talking through our goals and just to kind of define what it was that this subcommittee was trying to accomplish. And just to give you guys an update on that, the goals that we were landing on were to increase awareness about this program and about ag behavioral health services across the state, to build trust and credibility with not only producers and agriculture workers, but also with other providers across the state. Elevate the community voice, what's going on in the communities that we can really amplify as a result of their work and our work, how we can really be a platform that they can tell others what they're doing. And then the last, sustain the momentum that folks have going, keep things going in the right direction. There's been quite a bit of focus on this. JC, you've been a part of this conversation probably longer than anybody, but I'd say that in my 3 years, I really see that there's been a real strong trajectory of more and more people joining this conversation and saying, hey, I want to support this. This is really important. And more people realizing that this is so vital. Like Mike was saying, the awareness of suicide in agriculture is really increasing. So keep that momentum. And then also we can be a voice that drives participation and engagement with services, resources, and also connecting folks that are in the ag community so that they connect with each other. And that's really my passion, that this outreach group can really reach the farmers and ranchers that are feeling isolated and alone in frontier communities and out on their farms, to know that they're not alone and that there's other folks that they can connect with. So our big ask for today, and this is, I'm going to partner with Rosie for a minute. Carlyle is going to join us shortly to talk about the Ag Behavioral Health Summit that is happening in November. I think we gave you guys that date, but if you don't have that date, it's November the 13th and 14th in Monte Vista and at the Sky High conference center place there in Monte Vista. And Carlyle will give us an agenda and any updates when he joins. But before then, we thought we would throw up a spreadsheet. Robert's raising his hand to get my attention.
Question. Go ahead, Megan.
Megan has a question.
Thanks,
Thank
Robert. Yeah, you didn't see me, Clinton. Sorry.
I didn't.
Just as you were talking about support in ag communities, I have received a few inquiries over the last couple of weeks about what is being done and what can be done to help support ranchers and farmers, our friends in the ag communities on the western side of the state who have been impacted by the fires, losing their entire livestock or their farms, which is their whole livelihood, and just what work is being done there. So just wanted to flag that for this group. I know you all it's all on everyone's radar, but wanted to put it out there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks, Megan. And I'm actually going to pass this one to Julie because I think she's been more intimately involved with some of the efforts that are out there and been in communication with the extension person that is kind of handling the emergency management. So Julie, anything that you want to give us an update around what's going on and where people can go for help out in the Western Slope regarding damage and impacts of the fire?
Sure. So there is a guidebook that was put out. It's put out through the Extension Service called After Disaster Guidebook. And it is something that like Rio Blanco County it's still in the print process, but they will be sent to the extension office there in Rio Blanco County, as well as the soil conservation office. Once they are printed, they should be printed very, very soon. Those are printed through the CSU Marcom. And that has a ton of information about resources that individuals can access after a disaster. And so these guidebooks are actually guidebooks that are developed by CSU and have a lot of references to articles and things like that, not just from CSU, but areas as well, plus local information providers and things like that as well. So it's a pretty well-rounded book. That would be one place that you could have people go. They're in the process of getting those guidebooks. So each county is supposed to have their own guidebook that has their own local resources available. Not all counties have a guidebook that's up to date, but they are in the process of doing a emergency management website where this information will be linked to so that anyone can access it. That piece is still in the works. In the meantime, people on the Western Slope are more than welcome to connect with me if they want, and then I can hopefully provide them with the right resources or the person that they need to get in contact with for resources. Right now, I just had a meeting this morning. I'm on what they call the strike team, and it's individuals from the extension program through CSU that are working on these fires and things like that. Right now, with the weather, rain and things like that, in many of these areas that are either had a fire or are having a current fire, thank God for the rain. However, that oftentimes leads to flooding and things like that through the burn scars. So that on this website, they will be adding additional resources about flooding. Some of the information that's on this or in this guidebook is still being reviewed so CSU is going through a thing where we are reviewing all of our fact sheets, is what they're called. And we are in the process of reviewing several of these articles and things like that have to do with disaster recovery and things like that. So that's why they're not readily accessible at the moment, but they are working on that and they're trying to fast forward that so that they can get that information out to people as soon as possible. So I know that the website is not ready for the community to go in and look through yet, but they are in the process of getting that done ASAP. I do know that many of the fires and things like that are slowing down. So the members, those of us on the strike team are talking about maybe only needing one more meeting. So that's a good thing, but again, people are still needing that assistance after the fires and things. So probably the best bet would be for them to connect with me. And I can certainly, or with someone, the local extension office in their county would be another place that they could connect with as well. About
Julie, would you be willing to
what
put your
resources?
contact in the
Sure.
chat
I can do
so that
that.
people could share that as needed? And does anybody else, particularly those of you on the western slope or up in the northern part of the state, have any contacts for folks that are offering fire recovery support that Meghan could relay on?
Yes, well, I've heard of, well, I know some of the neighbors have opened up, they've hayed some fields that they usually have, you know, how they rotate. But they have cut some fields and are shipping some hay. I don't know exactly who lost some hay, but I know of some ranches that did. So they're replenishing that. They're helping that way. And yeah, for that's the only thing I've heard for here. And of course there's a lot of fires, or there's 2 fires in Routt County. I think there's more. But yeah, they've subsided. But then there's the how do we cover these, you know, getting the hay to the people that need it.
Yeah, that's encouraging to hear that neighbors are helping neighbors.
Mhm.
I also wanted to add that there is Beth Hayes is our emergency management person through the extension services that connect with through the Pueblo County Extension Office. There is a app called the Hungry app that they are actually utilizing right now for anyone who has, it's really, the app itself was built to assist in providing food and things like that if there's shortages or a need, but they are
For livestock.
adapting it for the for other resources. And so if someone has hay that they want to donate, they can download the Hungry app and utilize that in being able to donate resources. So I don't have information on how to do that, but I can get that for you pretty easily.
Great, thanks. That sounds like a great resource.
It is, I think. Hopefully it's going to work out well.
Yeah. Is it just for Colorado, or is it for the whole country if somebody has a disaster in other states?
You know, I think right now they're just focusing on Colorado.
Nice. That's awesome. And do you know who is owning that app?
I
Who's
don't
navigating
know.
that? No.
Yeah, I don't know who. All I know is that it's called the Hungry app.
That's great.
And it's something that we are contracting with
Cool.
to do that.
Well, Meghan, thanks
It's all
for that
something that
question.
Beth Hayes put together.
Oh, excellent. Beth did. That's great. Before, and actually it's not before, we still have lots of time, but we were hoping to tap into this group to start building our list of folks that we want to be sure that we invite to the Behavioral Health Summit in Monte Vista in November, and want to make sure that we are tapping into all of your networks to know who should be at that event and how do we get in touch with them, who's the contact. So Rosie was going to throw up a list.
I can't share my screen. So Robert, if you can share your screen, I think you're on the sheet right now. I can scribe and take notes.
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah, basically if folks have organizations or individuals that they want to be sure that we do direct outreach to for the summit, we'd love to talk about that. And then if you have contact information, that would be great. And I think Carlyle will probably talk about this more, but there's multiple different formats that someone might participate in the summit. They could be an attendee, someone who gives a presentation, someone who's on a panel, someone who is just there tabling. So it could, if you also have an idea of what type of participation you think they would be best suited for, that would be helpful information as well.
Uh-oh. We lost the collaborative worksheet, Robert. Perfect. All right. And do we maybe want to start at the top and see if people have contacts for who we should reach out to? The CDA's on there. I think we have good contacts there already built in. And CSU Agribility has good representation on this. Farm Bureau, Tim's not on this call, but I assume that Tim would be our contact there. And then do we have a contact for someone at Colorado Cattlemen's that would be able to get out to their organization?
Actually, yes, I think I do.
If you have it and want to drop it in the chat or something, Rosie could get it.
I will have to look it up for sure and get back with you, Rosie.
Okay.
That's totally fine.
Also, the
Uh,
Colorado Cattle Women's Association. We
Oh,
have,
nice.
I think Marcia Dockenbaugh. I'll get her information, but that's a good one because there's a lot around here. Also, the Farmer Veteran Coalition. We're still standing that up for Colorado, but I can get a contact for that.
Was the Farmer Veteran Coalition on that list?
I'm not sure. I think
I didn't see it. If there is representation here in Colorado, that'd be awesome.
yeah. So
Be able to join.
there's 4 of us forming, and I'll get to I'll get the contact for the person who's helping us out
Great.
from national. Oh, also I put up a link in the chat for At the Table, and that's put on by the Health Partnership, Emily Schweitzer. And I forgot to mention it's going to be on the 18th of next month, but in Steamboat, but they're going all around the state. So I put a link to that.
Great. And back up at the top, Rosie, if you want to go to Farm Aid, I told you that there was a representative in Denver that could most likely come and join, that joined at the last one, and her name is Ashley Garfias, Garfias.
Cool.
And her email is Ashley, ASHLEY @farmaid.org.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And you
And
think what kind of participation would be best for them?
For Farm Aid, I think that they would table, and I think that they would get up and share about their clearinghouse in one of the 5-minute presentations.
Perfect.
And then it looks like we're covered down to Colorado Livestock Association. Does anybody have a contact there? Georgia.
Looks like, yeah, and I was gonna say Nick is putting in the chat who is
Yeah.
a participant.
Okay.
It sounds like
Thanks,
Nick
Nick.
might have those contacts.
Yeah, they just
Nick's our
hired
person.
Travis. I know how to get a hold of Travis.
Perfect.
Also, can you add to list the Colorado Wool Growers Association?
Certainly.
And I can look up a contact for that.
Nick just threw John Field in, and I'm guessing that maybe that's for the Colorado wool growers, because I know that John raises sheep.
Mm-hmm.
And then, does anybody from the San Luis Valley area have a contact for the SLV Behavioral Health Group? Do we not have somebody on this working group that is a part of that? Is Kate a part of that? Kate Martinez?
I'm not sure if she is. I know she works in the area, but
Yeah.
I have contacts
Actually,
that I can share also.
I think Kate is. Her email is at SLVBHG. So
Okay, good. So we can connect with her. And then I feel like somebody on here probably has a good contact for us at Valleywide Health Systems, but I'm not for sure since they have migrated west. Should we put Jen there, JC?
Yeah, that'd be Jennifer Paul Miller. POLLMILLER.
great. Great. Got some other emails in the chat. Thank you.
Awesome. And if you want to put in an email next to Bill Owsley, I'm the one who put him in there for FSA. I think that we've got some more statewide FSA, but he's the one here in Larimer County that could distribute it. And he's William.Owsley at USDA.gov.
Perfect.
That's fun. What is cattle, crops, and coffee? JC, is that new?
It's the one I stumbled on 2 weeks ago. I'm still learning a little bit about it, but I was able to pull up that brochure to get the contact information.
Yeah,
That's
we
awesome.
actually, OSP funds Niana and Montezuma Public Health, which is what is putting on Cattle, Crops, and Coffee, and they were inspired by JC and Coffee Break Project.
Oh,
Yep.
so cool.
Man. Great alliteration. All right, so going through this list, are there some other organizations that we are feeling like that we're missing that we want to make sure that we reach out to invite? I assume Carlyle will be on shortly if he's not already on, but even if we just throw out the names and then we can get contacts later.
Clinton, I would suggest reaching out to CBHC, and I can give you their contact. I'll put it in the chat. I usually reach out to them for anything we're doing throughout the state, and then they can connect with Sol Vista, Valleywide, San Luis Valley. Like they'll send out tailored communication to folks to bring the awareness out. It's been really helpful just to kind of leave that with them.
Perfect. Thanks, Megan. And sorry that I'm not watching for hands still. JC, I see yours is up though.
Just tagging on to Megan's comment, probably Colorado Community Health Network, CCHN. Those are all the FQHCs, federally qualified health centers. But not all the behavioral health providers now are part of CBHC. Some of us are just part of CCHN. So that would catch maybe 2 or 3 additional. And then maybe offline, Clinton, you and Robert and others may want to talk and decide whether you want to reach out to what we've always called our investors, those that are not investing money, but those are the ones that started the Coffee Break Project. As it's grown, I would say there's probably 30 to 35 organizations now, your co-ops, your banks, a lot of them are coffee or Comet trained, but I don't know how far we want to take the list, right? So, but those are usually your gatekeepers of behavioral health because they're seeing the people coming into their businesses, having the questions, encouraging them for follow-up, those things, but.
Yeah, and maybe offline, I'll reach out to you, JC, but I think that that's great. And I think that's part of the conversation that we're really wanting to throw a wide net for people that are going to be encountering farmers, ranchers, and agriculture workers. And so those folks that are contributors in that capacity and are the gatekeepers seem really important. So we can try to access that. I think the co-ops are a great opportunity to tap into those folks. And then just responding to Nick online, yes, Agwell is, they are hosting the summit, Nick, and so Carlyle will be on shortly. I should check and see if he's here yet. I don't see him. And then what is FIMCO and HCPF? That question goes to Nick. I don't know those 2 organizations. If somebody else on the call knows.
HCPF is HICPUF, which is Healthcare Policy and Financing.
That's right, yes.
The State Department.
And Nick, if you want to talk, you should be able to talk now if you want.
Welcome, Nick. We're not hearing you if you're talking. JC, can you be our Axis contact?
Happy to do so.
Excellent.
I will reach out to him immediately.
Perfect. I see Carlyle is connecting. Nick, still not able to hear you. If you were wanting to share, you are most welcome to.
She indicated in chat her internet connection isn't too good, so.
Oh, okay. No worries then. Mosca, not the best internet. Gotcha. Well, thanks for all your contributions on the chat. And I see that Carlyle has just joined. So maybe we will hit pause on this list building for a minute and switch back over to the main screen. There's lots in the chat. Rosie, you'll be busy the rest of the afternoon. Keep up
this
with
is
that.
great.
So,
Thank you all so much. This is really helpful.
yeah, thanks for the participation there, everyone. That was a helpful moment. And Carlyle, welcome.
Yeah, good to see everyone.
And just so you know, what we were doing was we were just going through that Excel spreadsheet that we had talked about on our meeting a couple weeks ago. That just was who all do we want to reach out to, and brainstorming to see who are the ag organizations in the state that we want to be sure to include in the invite and outreach. And the only other thing that we shared was that we settled on the 13th and 14th and said that you would come on to give a little bit more of a details on what those 2 days are going to look like from a high level.
Yeah, for sure. So I can actually, what the plan is today is I've been working with the RMFU comms team to finalize the RSVP page in the website. And that's taken a little bit of time because with, things are pretty busy with county convention and whatnot. So we should have that done by today or tomorrow. And the plan is once we have that RSVP link and that website developed, we have the save the date flyer. At that point, I'm going to begin reaching out to all the different organizations on that collaborator document that my name was next to, and Jocelyn Catterson, who's working pretty closely with me, helping with the planning of this, is going to reach out to a good number of the other organizations. So one of the things that we discussed yesterday, just going back to your original point, Clinton, about like the overhead view of this. I know like originally when I had applied for the grant, we were trying to have like a farmer rancher behavioral health stress management summit for farmers and ranchers directly. And I know that that wasn't fully in alignment with what the bill had stated. So we adjusted it a little bit to be more for providers, ag adjacent professionals, folks directly working either with farmers and ranchers in a behavioral health capacity or just working with them in, accomplishing the work of their organization. So with that said, we've tailored the agenda on day 1 and day 2 to really prioritize hearing from the different organizations that are going to be present about, who are they? What is the work that they're doing? How does it apply to this mission that we've all committed ourselves to in improving behavioral health outcomes for farmers and ranchers? And a lot of what that's going to look like is hearing from folks on a panel from the first day. And then from there, the majority of the programming that first day is going to be hearing from our keynote speakers, who I think we have 2 confirmed now. I think we have Bennett and Weiser that have confirmed. One might be there in person. And then the remainder of the day is just going to be individual networking opportunities that people can get to know the folks that they hear from after folks share out in their 5-minute pitches what the work is that they're doing. So that's really going to be the focus of the first day. And then the second day is going to be even tailored more so that people can do, rapid fire sessions where we're going to organize the room and tables based on topic, where folks can go around and learn more directly from their peers and colleagues that are in the room. So that's a general overview of what the programming is going to look like for those 2 days. And one of the things that Jocelyn and I had discussed yesterday is I was feeling like reading through the agenda, thinking more about everything that we've discussed to this point, that I still want to be able to incentivize farmers and ranchers to come to this, even though like a lot of the presentations and the slots that we've allocated are not necessarily like stress management for farmers and ranchers, right? So an idea that we had was for the summit, or excuse me, not the summit, the social that we're going to have the evening of the first day at the Colorado Brewery, which is not too far away from Sky High Complex, advertise that to other producers in the Valley and say, hey, this is going to be a, Colorado Department of Ag and AgWell co-sponsored event, which is also going to be a social that's a part of our summit. But hey, come out to this, and possibly even having an AgWell focused presentation directed to farmers and ranchers. So I think that will be great because it'll give them an opportunity to show up and participate and get to know some of the providers who are going to be obviously there because they showed up for the summit. But it's not bringing the farmers and ranchers directly to the summit if the programming is not directly tailored for them. Because the last thing I'd want is a bunch of producers showing up and saying, hey, this feels like this is not really for us, because I think that could do more harm than good. So Jocelyn and I had that idea to kind of merge the two, with the social being that opportunity to really engage them. And then from there, she mentioned that I think the Coffee Break Project has been in conversation about possibly actually doing a farmer stress event, maybe in December or towards the end of November. That's for producers specifically. And I think this relates to what you and I, Clinton, talked about splitting it up into 2 events. And it sounds like Coffee Break Project is on board. I don't want to speak for them because I know this is all tentative, but it sounds like Coffee Break Project is on board for that. And I would love to participate in helping to plan that and figure out the programming for that. So that's a general overview of how things are going to look. What I can do is, if it's going to be helpful, I can share an agenda in the chat that you all can take a look at just to get an idea of what everything's going to look like. And then from there, once we get that RSVP link finalized, you all will have access to that, and we encourage you to share that with anybody in your network who it may apply to.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Carlyle. And you can keep sharing if there's more, but curious with the additional invite of producers, is there going to be a push for RSVPs so that we know how many people are planning on coming to that Colorado Brewery? That can be another conversation, but I just
Yeah.
don't know how many people that place can accommodate. I've never been there.
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, so on the primary main RSVP link, we'll have another link to the social page where folks who might just want to come to that and not necessarily the summit can clarify that. So
Perfect. Yeah, that's great. And then JC, while Carlisle's sharing this, is there anything that you can say, an update that you know, insider information for this group only about any type of gathering that the Coffee Break Project was planning?
Not any more than what Carlyle stated. I've been out of the loop, unfortunately, for about a month.
Okay.
Just in transition.
Okay.
Understandable. Just didn't know if there was a date or anything that we could put aside on our calendar.
Yep. Very good. Yeah. So yeah, the big last step is finalizing the link, as I mentioned, and then Jocelyn is assisting me with finalizing the food and lodging, and those are the main logistical things that need to get in order. And then from there, most of the work between now and then is going to be myself and anybody else who has the capacity reaching out directly to these organizations, making personal invites, letting them know, spread the word throughout your network, and really just trying to get an idea of how many people are going to show up. So we will be offering blocks in like hotel room blocks. Right now we've allocated about 50, knowing that a fair amount of people will be local, so they won't need the hotel stays. But so we will that is going to be an offering that we have. And then from there too, if farmers or ranchers do want to attend the summit itself, even though it might not necessarily be directly tailored for them, we will provide travel reimbursements for them as well. So yeah, I think I've covered pretty much all of it. So if there's any questions, you all feel free to reach out to me. I'll throw my email in the chat here if you have any questions or concerns.
I could add in, Carlyle. So when you guys look at the agenda, like Carlyle said, he's really focused this on groups interacting. And so you'll see that we're going to break up in tables. I think the second day, Carlyle, is when we break up into tables.
Yep.
This is where we'd really like to have work group members man a table. So as many tables as we have, it'd be great to have a work group member there that can be kind of taking notes, facilitating the discussion, because it'll kind of be like speed dating. We'll have so many minutes at a table and then we'll ring a bell and everybody shifts. And so it'd be nice to have a moderator at each table that can, kick off the discussion, kind of take notes, follow up what needs to be done, and then move forward. And we're going to really lean on work group members first to see if you guys would be willing to do that.
Yeah. And I think it'd probably be helpful for everyone too to have a better idea of what those topics of those different tables will be. And one of the things that we discussed yesterday was, and we'll go over this on our meeting on Thursday of this week, Robert and Clinton, where every single aspect of this event, like all the different, whether that's the rapid fire sessions or the keynote, I want to provide like an excess amount of detail so everybody knows exactly what the talking discussion points are going to be, so folks know what to expect, so there's not any confusion on, well, like, what are the panelists going to talk about. We're going to create an entire agenda for each, I'm going to create an entire agenda for each session, so everybody's on the same page and there's no confusion about what the actual content of the discussions is going to be. And that's also going to be open. I'm going to be open to suggestions and any guidance that you all may have to make it more impactful for the folks participating. So
sounds great. Anybody have any questions about anything Carlisle's shared? Really excited about all the work that you've put into this, Carlyle, and what this can mean for this conversation. And yeah. And I didn't see a link, Carlyle. Were you able to get one to throw an agenda in there for folks to see? I know that it doesn't really matter right now.
Yeah. I can put that in now.
And we might try to have you join us at our next meeting as well, so that you can give us any further updates and make sure that if there's anything this group can do to amplify what's going on, we can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll put that agenda in the chat here in 1 second. I just got to take it out of this other document here.
It's okay if you can't. Rosie can share it if you want to just send it to her after.
Okay.
And
would that work?
she can send it out in a follow-up as well as when she sends out the save the date.
Okay, very good. I'll do that then. Yeah.
Perfect. Robert or Rosie, anything that either one of you guys want to add before we move on?
So one of our attendees is Kristen Carpenter, and Kristen, I have you can actually talk right now if you'd like to join us and provide any comments. In the chat, she mentioned that she'd love to join us as well at the summit. So
this is very confusing, but I am not Kristen Carpenter. I'm sorry to disappoint. I am Jessica Eady, her coworker. I have just started taking over these meetings the past couple of months as she got pretty swamped. We've had a lot of budget cuts and positions cut. So she's a conflicting meeting, and I'm simultaneously taking on our treatment provider work group at the consortium as the program manager. So I just wanted to hop on, and I have some contacts, especially in the SLV, if you need anyone, but I think I put them all in chat already. Happy to help. Definitely don't want to take up space though when there's people more relevant to this conversation and summit, I think, than the consortium will be.
Jessica, it is definitely not disappointing to hear that you are stepping in for Kristen, and you have been in this conversation for longer than anybody on this call other than maybe JC, because you were one of the ones that brought me into it. So really happy to hear you on this call and that you are willing to be a part of this. So would love to incorporate you in the consortium and your work in potentially having a table, or definitely just being there to be part of the conversation.
Yeah, and if y'all need contacts for other people to reach out to in like the treatment provider space, I'm happy to also get it out to our treatment provider listserv. But I think that would only be if you have lots of extra space, because we have a number of people on that listserv. So just feel free to reach out whenever. My email is the same, but I put it in the chat again just in case.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I think that that's an important question that we have, is how to connect with those providers. Chad is talking about doing a LandLogic training. We're planning on that on the first day, and would love to have rural and agriculture providers, behavioral health providers that are interested in that, be able to join that. So we will definitely connect, Jessica. Thanks again for joining and offering all your recommendations. And I'm adding your email to my email list so that I can reach out.
Thanks. And if you don't mind adding me to this meeting, then I can quit signing in as Kristen.
I'll Robert can figure out what that looks like.
That's totally fine. Happy to connect you to her as well. She's still with us.
We'll get that done. Thanks, Jessica.
All right. So before we move on, any other questions for Carlyle, or any other thoughts about outreach as we move into this next planning section of this Ag Behavioral Health Summit? Really excited, like I said, Carlyle, about your work that you're putting together, and this is going to be a great opportunity for this working group and for people across the state.
Yeah.
All right.
So you know,
thank you.
In Carlyle, I visited with Meghan, and she's really willing to help to get it out through her channels as well. So we're excited about that. So thanks, Meghan.
Yeah, and thank you all for being willing to do that. And I apologize for the delay on it. I wanted to make sure that when we made the ask and reached out to people, that we had everything that we needed, so people are like, not like, well, where's the RSVP link, or where's this, or where's that? Because then stuff gets really kind of confusing. So I do appreciate your patience on awaiting that information.
Very wise. I like it. All right, then. Well, that kind of takes us to the last section of our meeting. Robert and Rosie, you guys got any Department of Ag updates that the rest of us need to know about, or anybody on the community that's listening? You're on mute, Robert.
Working from a laptop is a little hard with multiple screens. Sorry for the delay.
Yes.
So really would like to know too, again, what other presentations that you folks would like at our work group meetings. If there's other individuals or groups that we should hear from, please send them to Rosie and I so we can reach out and develop the valuable agendas for you all. The next item is Ag Behavioral Health Grant Program. So SB 24055, which created this work group, also charged the Department of Ag with setting up a Ag Behavioral Health Grant Program. However, it didn't fund it. So we're out there looking for funds. So we definitely don't want to be in competition with any of you for searching out for funds. But if you know of sources of funds that could be coming to the Department of Ag for us to set up a behavioral health program, we would appreciate your assistance in that. So just so you know, in helping to line up the summit, I did talk with A.G. Weiser, and we've been in communication with his community staff to see if we can apply for a grant, for the opioid funds. So they seem pretty receptive for that, and so we'll be reaching out for those areas. So again, if any of you know of any other programs that you think would be amenable to support this grant program, I think we really would like to try to get it off the ground. And I think the benefits of our program is that we'll do all the paperwork, right? So many farm organizations or farmers, they don't have the background or the time to apply for a grant and to follow up. So many grants have a lot of reporting that has to be done. And I think the Department of Ag, we can do that. We're going to make these grants really simple. They're not going to be huge dollar grants, small. I envision these as small grants that are going to communities to start coffee break projects, to start different things like this. So we want to make it as easy as possible. So I think that'll be our selling point on that. Any questions on that? The next question was kind of on the summit. Originally, we were thinking about having a behavioral health, a work group meeting before the summit starts, but the summit's going to start at 11. And so second guess myself, it was like, wow, that'd be a pretty long day for all of us. Wanted to gauge your interest on having a work group meeting before the summit started on Thursday morning. We'd probably have to start it like at 9:30 in the morning to get done by 11. Anybody out there
I think it's doable.
to have a summit work group meeting at 9:30?
Yeah.
Well, the one thing, Robert, that I do want to say is part of our conversation had been really to encourage everybody in the working group to come, and that there are travel funds for those of you that may need travel reimbursement. But if we do feel like we're going to have a majority of the folks from this working group present, it would be kind of cool, I agree, to even just have a hour-long meeting where we can all be in person to connect and have that touch point as a group. So I second you, Michael.
That makes sense, you guys. And are you still planning to have the land logic training in the morning then before the summit?
Yeah, the land logic training is going to be from 8 to 11.
Perfect.
So Chad wouldn't be present, but I think everybody else in the group would be, unless there are people that were going to try to attend the land logic training, which should be an option for folks if they wanted.
Perfect. Which reminds me, I had this sitting in my chat, is that Chad did ask us to share this flyer for the land logic training that's, I guess he's got 2 times coming up. So he wanted
great.
he wanted to make sure that we share that with the group.
Nice. Thank you for being responsible and setting that chat aside. He did put that in that email this morning, and I had intended to remember, but I didn't. So
yeah,
sorry, Chad.
I forgot I put it in chat, and then I didn't want to interrupt everybody because the chats were flying like crazy, so it just stayed there. Well,
Thank
perfect.
you, Robert.
Okay, so
Excellent.
we'll plan on maybe a 1-hour work group meeting then before starting at 10 o'clock and concluding at 11.
JC?
I was just going to say, since we're going to be in Larry Green's, literally his backyard, where he's doing a lot of this work through Coffee Break and through Extension, including well-being outreach events that they've done at Sky High in the past. I wonder if we ought to reach out to him and see if he'd be willing to, well, extend the invitation for him to maybe host. And what I mean by that is maybe he comes and gives us 15 to 20 minutes about what's happening in his community and shares it with this group prior as part of the meeting agenda, even if it's an hour and 15 minutes. It seems amiss not to, if we haven't already, to be literally in his backyard and not bring him forth and let him recognize the work that's happening right there.
Absolutely. And I know he's been a big part working at, well, I think I'm saying I know, but with Jocelyn and Carlyle and talking through the logistics of those 2 days. But I love Larry's presence, and for him to have that deep history there in the San Luis Valley makes sense. And you're talking about to bring him to this group meeting. Is that what you're saying, JC?
Yeah.
Or both?
No, well, this meeting basically, and just kind of be like, and I could talk to him about if everybody's okay, but like be kind of the host of the meeting. Welcome to the Valley. Talk
Love
about,
it.
let's tell you kind of what's happening with some of these other organizations and investors currently, like maybe 15 or 20 minutes. I just think we need to recognize the 3 years of work that they've already done.
Absolutely.
Great. Yeah, that sounds really good, JC. Let's see the other thing, anything else on work group meeting? So we'll plan on having the work group meeting before, definitely have Larry part of that discussion. Discussion, the next item is discussion that we've kind of toyed with a little bit is work group appointments. And I'll have the conversation with Commissioner Greenberg about this because it's up to her. She's the one that makes the appointments. But really we need to gauge interest for those that because I think it's really important that we have participation. I know meeting once a month is a pretty heavy lift, but I definitely think that participation is critical for the work that we're doing, especially since we'll be providing a report back to the legislature, and this could be as it stands now, it's really just to protect the funds that we have. It's highly unlikely that we're going to get any other funds, but our work is really to protect the funds that we have and to serve the communities, figure out ways how we can serve those communities with that. So I'll continue to work on work group appointments, talk with Commissioner Greenberg, and so we may be looking at what attendance has been by different work group members, and then because I know we've had requests from other people that have wanted to be on the work group, and so maybe replace some of those people with other people that have shown interest. Any
Thanks
comments?
for furthering that, Robert.
Any comments or suggestions in that? Great. Rosie, was there anything else?
Yes, can we approve the
A minute.
July meeting minutes?
I know.
That's on me.
Clinton's least favorite thing to do.
That's right. I, for some reason, just skip over that in the agenda every time. Yeah, hopefully you all were able to review the minutes that Rosie sent a link to in the last email that she sent. And does anybody have any additions or questions about the last meeting minutes? It was really a fantastic meeting in person in Pueblo. Jacob couldn't be here today, but he did a great job setting that up. And the people there, to JC's point about Larry Brown, the people at Pueblo, they really did welcome us and were very great hosts. So yeah, if nobody has any questions or additions, say something if you don't approve, but otherwise approved.
Thank you.
Great.
Quentin, I did have one more thing that does just a recent event that,
Yeah.
of course, you know about, is that Senator Marchman has asked to hear a briefing before the Water Resources and Ag Legislative Committee. So that's great news. I mean, I visited with her while she was at Water Congress, and I told her I'm really excited about what we're doing and the efforts and the collaboration going on. So she wanted to hear about it. So we're scheduled for Monday, September 15th. Currently on the agenda is not out yet, so we don't know what time. It'll be at the state capitol. The committee meets between 10:30 and 4 p.m. normally. Talking to the committee aide we'll probably have about 45 minutes, and currently on the agenda are somebody from Rocky Mountain Farmers Union, somebody from Colorado Farm Bureau, BHA, which will probably be Meghan, Clinton, and myself. And then Catherine, I was going to ask you if you had any interest to join and provide testimony to the committee.
Yes, potentially. Let's follow up about it offline.
Okay, perfect. So we're really excited about that. JC, I'll probably be reaching out to you, on all of you, any expertise that you know the history of how this bill was developed that I don't. And so it'd be really helpful for us to have your insight, and then what information you think would be really important to provide the legislators at that hearing. So if you think about it, send me a note right away. If not, I'll reach out to you later. Thanks, JC. Yeah, we're really excited about being able to do this. I think, to let the legislators know what we're doing is really important.
Agreed. Thanks for facilitating and setting that up, Robert.
Thanks, Clinton.
All right. So we've got about 2 minutes left. Do we have anyone that's been listening from the community or the public that's got any questions or thoughts? I haven't seen anything come through in the chat, but I don't know if I have privy to those question and answer.
Haven't seen anything.
Awesome. And anyone on the call have any upcoming events or anything that they want the rest of us to know about before we sign off?
I just want to bring to attention, I'm sure everyone knows, but the 6 lives that were lost at the dairy there in Northeast Colorado. I don't know if there are resources or anything like that that's been sent out, but just I think we need to recognize those individuals and the impact that this has had on everyone in the area.
Thanks, Julie, for bringing that up. We had a senior management meeting at the Department of Ag, and yeah, we have a staff at CDA that have reached out to them. We have our Ag Services program that have reached out to them and trying to provide any services we can. It's a dairy actually that we sell some of our silage to, so we have a pretty close connection with them. And they lost one of their long-term supervisors in that accident, which was really a shame. So yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Keep them in your prayers at night. That's a big loss.
Yeah.
And it's a good reminder that we all have to be very careful, right? It's a good reminder that don't take anything for granted, and that just be very careful in what we're doing.
Yeah. Thanks for both of you sharing more about that. All right, we are at time. If you have any thing that you want for the next meeting, be sure to reach out to myself, Robert, or Rosie. And until then, be well, and thanks for your time today. Thanks, Consuelo. All right. See you guys.
Thanks.